What's up, everybody? Thralls Metal here once again. I'm Necrotic Nick, and once again, I have an album review for you, or rather an EP in this case. Like I said, I really wasn't sure where I was going to go in terms of this weekend because there are a lot of different releases coming out, but I saw this one come up. It's a band that I really like. And honestly, I could use another really solid EP because I'm kind of running low on EPs and splits in terms of this year, for like best EPs and such. So today we're going over the latest offering from Suffering Hour, Impelling Rebirth EP. This also comes out on the 3rd of October on Profound Lore Records. This band formed in 2013 in both Minnesota and Colorado, though I believe they are now pretty much located in Minnesota. This is their third EP overall. They have 2 full lengths. I actually did a solo review for the Cyclic Reckoning when that dropped back in, was it like 2021 or 2020? Either way, I brought it back up again in a States of Metal. I also recently picked up their second EP, Dwell, which was one, I believe, like 18-minute track or something like that. It was absolutely amazing. But everything that I've heard from this avant-garde blackened death metal act, that is what the archives say, I think that's kind of fair. Everything I've heard so far has been awesome, and spoiler alert, that includes this EP. This is just rife with crazy, technical, distant, atmospheric riffs, insane drum work, cavernous, howling, ghoulish vocals. It is somehow like dark and creepy and just, sort of like haunting sounding, but also like super complex, and it kind of draws you in with like its strange transitions and riff work. Just very clever riff work that doesn't necessarily exude like one particular style. They're kind of all over the map. Sounds like Incessant Descent and Inexorable Downfall are complex and technical, lots of crazy harmonies. The riffs twist and turn, and they kind of churn the song. It can shift from something that sounds like akin to like Gorguts, like, circa From Wisdom to Hate, and then go full bore into like some like almost more like mathcore, sort of like squawky, atonal alarm clock riffing. Stuff that's akin to like Botch, early Norma Jean, Coalesce, stuff like that. All this going on while you have this like whirlwind like effect of drums on here too. The drum work on this EP is absolutely wild. The fills and turnovers are crazy, sometimes kind of coming out of nowhere. The transitions in and out of like blast beat sections, there's lots of clever accents going on. Fun groovy pockets. There's even some unexpected twists and turns. Inexorable Downfall, kind of out of nowhere, you get like a disco beat. Like all of a sudden they shifted to like early Talking Heads, and then it goes into like almost like a thrash breakdown. This band got its name from Anachrysis, which, very technical thrash band, almost progressive thrash band out of St. Louis. And there's definitely spots in here where I can hear that band style, as well as even Voivod on here. The second track, Anamnesis, is loaded with technical thrash moments on there. It's blasty, there's a lot of D beats, but the, riff work on there is just kind of all over the place, like just crawling across the fretboard, creating all sorts of mayhem and as much atmosphere as the guitars can generate. But honestly, when it comes down to atmosphere, the vocals generate that more unnerving, more dark, sinister vibe. There's a ton of reverb on them and like this just big cavernous echo, like they're pretty much yelling down a fucking abandoned well or, a fucking mine shaft. They're haunting, they're very distorted. They also sit in a really nice spot in the mix too, where they're very audible and you can hear that continuous echo. That keeps the kind of creepiness factor up, because the rest of the time it's just dizzying transitions and, again, crazy fucking riff work. This EP is less than 14 minutes long, but it is blistering through and through, and I feel like the pace kind of gets heightened with each track. Like each track tries to like outdo the other one in terms of like, doing some crazy transitions or just playing even more intensely. As far as any negatives on here, honestly, I really don't have many. Like, yeah, it's a very short listen, but it is broken up into 5 tracks that really do stand out on their own. And I like this, again, like continuous, like momentum build that's on this whole EP. Like every track feels more visceral, more anxious, more explosive than the next one. The production on here is awesome. It's raw, but it's well mixed. I love the sound of the drums. The drums really pop in the mix. There really isn't a song on here that I felt dragged or, got too complex for its own good or kind of wore out its welcome. I mean, I might say that Anamnesis is a little bit short. Like, it's the only track in here under 2 minutes. And honestly, I could have stood like a little bit more from that one because I really like the thrashy elements on there. But much like anytime we say that about a song, like I wish it was longer, I wish there was more, that's more or less a compliment because obviously you don't want more if you think it sucks. I suppose the only other complaint that I can make, and it's minor and it deals mostly with my collecting habits, there is no CD version of this listed so far. Maybe there'll be one that comes out, but so far all I see is digital, and I guess they're going to do like a 10-inch, vinyl release for it, which fucking yippee for vinyl collectors. I want a CD, but that's just me. But that again has something to do with the music in here, and honestly, I'm just going to go ahead and give this 4 stars because this EP absolutely kicks ass. Pretty much all killer, no filler. It's technical, it's atmospheric, it's twisted, dark, distant, fucking just pure mayhem at times, but it's really catchy and really fucking well done. The riff work is both tight, but also kind of like loose and experimental. I love the use of like distance in terms of like the melodies in there. The drum work in here is fantastic. I love the vocals. Every song packs a fucking punch. Yeah, this is, an all killer, no filler, short release. Like, this is a good appetizer for hopefully what is to come. If the next full length sounds anything like this, I am 100% on board. And if this just happens to be like a one-off thing where they had these songs and they only seem to fit on this EP, that's awesome too. Pretty please put it out in a fucking CD. But yeah, if you're a big fan of bands like Ulthar, Spirit Possession, I would say like later Gorguts, and maybe even like a dash of Anacrusis, Voivod, and a little bit of Atheist in there too, check this out. This thing's absolutely killer. So if you enjoyed this review, give it a thumbs up, and if you are new to the channel, subscribe, because we do stuff like this all the time. We also have memberships. They were only 99 cents, and our lone perk is doing a members-only live stream, which we will probably get down to later this month, and we will probably let you guys know in the community. But memberships are the main way to support the channel, and if you'd like to become a member, there is a join button down there for you to smash, headbutt, kick, spit on, scatter whatever bodily fluid you want on it. That's up to you. I don't really want to know about it, so just don't tell me anything. But as long as it says you joined, then you did it right. Also, clean up your device. That's disgusting. And of course, thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, following, all that stuff. It means the world to us. Tons of content on the horizon. I'm working on a bunch of other fucking projects. Again, getting a little bit of a break from both Shred and John here just because of, various extenuating circumstances. Send them some love in the comments. They both could use it for totally different reasons. But we're going to keep you loaded with content because you guys are absolutely awesome. We love doing this. We love hearing your responses, the comments, running into you in public. It's absolutely amazing. So yeah, one more big thank you because you guys rule, and we will catch you later.